Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Sports Central. I'm Neal Duncan. We've got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to talk with the Executive Director of the Florida Youth Soccer Association and get a sneak peek of a fantastic new resort coming to Polk County. Stick around, everybody, for this week's edition of Sports Central. Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. I'm Neal Duncan alongside Mr. Hank Longo. And,
hello, Mr. Duncan. Great to be on the show.
Very busy.
Very busy. We've got a lot going on. Everybody's got a lot going on, but this weekend's really, we got a pro water ski tournament going on in Polk City. We got the Banana George Blairfoot, bonanza going on Lake Silver, and just all kinds of stuff going on.
Well, you talk about those events that lend themselves to more natural social distancing, and actually in our first segment we're going to talk about that. But before we get to that, our first segment is brought to us by Hall Communications, a great partner of Polk County Tourism and Sports Marketing. But with that, we're going to bring on our first guest, Joel Dragan, the Executive Director of the Florida Youth Soccer Association. And Joel, welcome to Sports Central. And you've been here in Polk County a little bit, but welcome to Polk County.
Thank you very much. 11 months now I've been here.
Is it already 11 months? Wow.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting time to start at Florida Youth Soccer and in Florida in general. I bring a lot of experience in the soccer realm from the Midwest. I was in Kansas City prior to this and Michigan prior to that.
Ooh, Michigan. Whereabouts in Michigan?
Metro Detroit. Grew up and lived in the city for a while.
In Detroit City?
Yeah, Detroit proper. And then I grew up in Novi, Central Michigan, Chippewa alumni. And
I grew up in Waterford, Michigan.
Fantastic.
Went to Eastern Michigan. Randy, who will be on the show in a little bit. We might as well get everybody in on this from Michigan.
Do you guys want me just to leave and you can have the Michigan show up
we'll
here?
Talk a little
Because, I'm an Indiana kid, so.
So not far
the
away.
The Midwest is well represented.
There you go. Well, and I don't know if you know this, and I say that in jest, the Tigers are right here in Lakeland, but we're looking forward to spring training getting back. But you talk about the Florida Youth Soccer Association and your experiences with soccer before, but of course I'm a little partial to Lake Myrtle Sports Complex and not just there, but everything that we have to offer in Polk County. You had to think when you were applying for the job and you got to see that facility that you're like, okay, there's worse places I could be, right?
Absolutely. As we've discussed before, the complex at Lake Myrtle Sports Park is it's second to none. It's world class. As I mentioned previously, I've been in 2 different states, the same role, and to have our offices housed at an 11 field complex with the quality of fields that we have there was a major factor in my decision making. We can host events there, anything. We've hosted regional events, we've hosted national events, everything from our own leagues that we run, our member affiliate leagues, the State Cup, President's Cup, Commissioner's Cup, we all bring it there. We represent members from every corner of the state in Florida. We run events in every corner of this state. We have 100,000 youth soccer players, 14,000 coaches.
That number in itself is startling to me. 14,000 coaches. I mean, that's like filling up the Orlando basketball arena. That's about how many they hold, and I think you got that many people coaching all those kids.
Coaches, volunteers, administrators, there's a gigantic push amongst people outside of those who play to make this sport possible. So we're really fortunate to be in a state like this, and we have some of the most competitive soccer in the entire nation. Florida, we are consistently putting players to the national team. We are constantly represented in the national championships. This is truly a soccer state, and 100,000 members, 100,000 youth players is a big number. We are one of the largest state associations in all of U.S. youth soccer and the United States Soccer Federation. And to tie it all into our complex there at Lake Myrtle, it's second to none. I was just up there with matches this weekend, and all the little details are really perfect, not to mention the grounds and all of those details. It's just perfect. And to your point, it was a factor in my decision making to come down here.
Well, and I think it's important. We'd be remiss. Hank, you certainly know this. Randy knows this. We'll talk to him a little bit later. But what a tremendous partnership. And as you've learned in Polk County, great partners here in Polk County, but between the Board of County Commissioners, the City of Auburndale, and what Bobby Green, the City Manager of Auburndale, Cody McGee, and before that Mickey Etherton, and it go on and on. But what they put into that facility, the vision for that, and really becoming a sports business cluster. And in our next segment, we keep alluding to it, but in our next segment is going to be that next step of that. But definitely want to give credit to the City of Auburndale and their partnership with the Board of County Commissioners. But the Florida Youth Soccer Association, you talked about those numbers, as you remember, Hank, were really intriguing, and that's where the city and the county went and recruited Florida Youth Soccer to the Lake Myrtle Sports Park. But as you said, you've been in Polk County 11 months now. 7 or 8 of those months have been like really, they've been challenging at best. But talk about how Florida Youth Soccer, you talk about events resuming and talking about, obviously, safety was the #1 thing for any sport. And as we mentioned earlier, the natural social distancing that's able to happen for spectators and players. But talk a little bit about that and how you've been able to do that.
Absolutely. We're very fortunate in soccer. First of all, that's an outdoor sport. Secondly, that it's a sport where you have probably the biggest playing field, as we were talking about, out of any sport. So you do have that ability to social distance. Our partners at the facility have been great with putting up signage, with putting up sanitizing stations, and we really feel like we've been successful, again, with the partnership at the facility to be able to bring soccer back and bring it back safely. We're staggering start times. We're not starting everything at 9 a.m. so everyone's clustering in all at the same time. We're starting things 15 minutes or a half an hour apart. Beyond that, we're having people sit on opposite sides of the sidelines. So we may have in one weekend a team coming up from Miami and a team coming from Pensacola. Minus the players who are on the field, those spectators who are coming there, they're never interacting with each other or the other fields because they're coming and going at separate times, and they're also sitting a full soccer length field apart. So we have been very fortunate just with the nature of soccer that we've been able to restart. We are pretty much back up to normal capacity with the number of games and our normal league weekends going on right now. Starting in the spring, we'll get to our cups, which is a big event that we'll have throughout the spring season at Auburndale, at Lake Myrtle. And we're just really happy to be back out there and be doing it safely. And one big detail that you guys really took care of there is parking. That is always a struggle. Everywhere that I've seen soccer complexes are people parked all over the place. I was just up there last weekend. Plenty of parking, plenty of space for people to social distance.
Can you talk about that? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, the thing that I find fascinating about all of this is that a few times I'll be working late and I'll come to the complex, maybe 7 o'clock or something like that, when everything that we do is all shut down for the day. And this place is lit up like New York City, and there's people everywhere. And it's a whole new part of the day. I mean, it's like this whole new life is taking place there. And the neat thing is that you've got these kids out there running around. They're not sitting in the house watching TV, and there's just so much fun going on with all these folks, and it's just amazing how busy it'll get at night like that with all the lights lit up and everything. It's pretty sensational.
Well, there's no shortage of studies out there that show the importance of sports and team sports, and particularly I feel coming out of this pandemic when people were just bunched in for months and months on end. They didn't go anywhere. They didn't get a lot of that physical activity. So to see these kids back out there, really, I think we were taking advantage of the time before. We really took it for granted what we were able to do out on the field, and now we've got this renewed sense of how lucky we are to be back out there. And you touched on another thing at night when those lights come on. Don't discount that. There are not facilities all over this state that have lights. So the fact that we can go until 9 o'clock, sometimes even later. I'm sure the city doesn't love to hear that, but occasionally we will stay out there pretty late. But again, that's just helping us stagger these games a little bit later, and also being able to keep people socially distanced and get as many games as we can in as safely as possible, even if some of them are under the lights. Let me tell you, the kids love playing under the lights.
Yeah, and like big time.
And that's a great point, because prior to the pandemic, you can try to get as many teams in as possible, because that increases the economic impact, the money spent in the local community, and all those things. But during the pandemic, like you said, it allows you to space things out. You might have less teams, but you're running about the same amount of time because you're putting in those safety provisions.
Absolutely. Just last weekend, we did have teams from all over the state here, Pensacola to Miami. We're all here in Polk County, here at Auburndale, playing matches, and we're happy to host them.
Well, Joel, before we go to break, we're getting ready to throw it to some Florida State Cup coverage of a previous event, but give a website. So if someone has a little one, maybe they're looking to get back into activities or things like that, what is the state website? FYSA.com stands for Florida Youth Soccer Association, FYSA.com. You can find a club there. You can find different events that we run, ODPs, state cups. It is all over the website. You'll find any direction that you need. Sign up for tournaments, sign up for training. All through FYSA, we offer everything from 3-year-olds kicking the ball around all the way up to 19-year-olds at the highest level, potentially moving onto the Olympic teams. Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Well, Joel, thank you so much. We'll have to have you back, or we'll just keep you around for 2 segments next
Absolutely.
time. But a lot of great stuff going on there at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park, and of course, Florida Youth Soccer Association. And when it was signed 10 years ago, it was a 50-year agreement. So they're going to be here a while. So we're very excited about that. Thanks again, Joel.
Thank you.
Well, we talked about just a few moments ago, the Florida State Cup is the first leg of the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championship Series. We've got some footage of a previous event. Take a look at this. Hank and Neal will be right back here on Sports Central.
Pensacola to Jacksonville to Fort Myers to Miami, everywhere throughout the state of Florida. The winners here end up advancing to what we call our Region 3 championships, and those basically that championship event will take place in Baton Rouge, Louisiana this year. They'll play teams from Texas, North Carolina, Tennessee, all around the southeast and I guess portion of the southern portion of the United States. State Cup is essentially a 2 or 3 month long tournament. It takes up about 500 teams from around the state. They're youth teams from the ages of U13 all the way up to U19. Now the U13s through 18s finished up last weekend. U19s will finish up this weekend. So it's a little bit more of an even keel event for us. But it's definitely a great atmosphere. We've coupled it along with the Disney Memorial Day Showcase. So we've got a great event going on here. The State Cup, it brings the best competition from around the state, the best players, the best teams, to see who the best team is in the state. With the U19, so it's a little more special. Simply because those U19 players, these are the kids who love the game of soccer, and maybe the parents aren't so much supportive. These are the guys who, over the last 10, 15 years of their development, have acquired a love for the game of soccer that's going to continue with them for the rest of their lives. Providing an avenue for kids to play soccer, to enjoy the game, to develop a love for the game. That will continue for the rest of their life. So it's definitely a great thing to see these players come out here, and whether in victory or in defeat, it's a game to them, and that's what it's all about These are the guys where you'll see them playing, whether it be as an adult rec or in college or even professionally and beyond. You know, and it's a blessing to see, and obviously at the end of it, a great last hurrah for those teams who've stuck together for the past 6 years. So for more information, whether you're looking up, trying to find a new club to get involved with, a league, our State Cup information, along with the Florida State Premier League, that information can all be found at FYSA.com.
Everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo, and some good footage there and great interview with Joel. He's really doing a great job with Florida Youth Soccer.
Yeah, it's amazing, that organization, and boy, to get out there some night with the lights on and see all those kids running around, it's just really a neat experience.
You don't get out there, right? You don't want to pull a hammy or
do
something?
Oh no, I run, I do sprints, you know, I'm still fast, you know, race a couple greyhounds in the neighborhood just to kind of keep that edge. Zing!
Only here on Sports Central.
Zing!
Hey, this second segment brought to us by Office Furniture Depot, and you know, nobody.
Sometimes you wonder why'd I ask him that question, you know.
Yeah, that's my fault. That's on me. But well, we talked about it in our first segment, and we talked about it in the intro. A fantastic new resort that's coming to Polk County that is right next to the Lake Myrtle Sports Park, and we're going to welcome Randy Knapp from 5 Star Resort. And Randy, take it away. We want to hear all about it. No,
Good afternoon.
So a
guys.
fantastic new opportunity, not only for you and your family and the business, but also for events at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park, but also other facilities around Polk County, but not to mention the leisure travelers, and just fantastic opportunity. Tell us all about it.
Well, we're bringing a resort that really is a one of a kind for this area. Heavily amenitized, but complementing to the sports park, and then all the other travelers that you've mentioned. We've got a great plan, a lot of family involved. We wouldn't be able to do it without all the family pulling the wagon in all directions. So we're hoping to open the first of the year, but we're going to be a total of 405 sites. The sites are oversized sites for today's RV. They accommodate all the power needs, they accommodate the slide out capabilities, and we can accommodate from the coach to the pull behind, whether it's fifth wheel or bumper pull. We'll accommodate all of those, and all ages. We're going to have from toddlers and youth all the way up through senior citizens. But from a resort standpoint, we're putting in a beautiful resort pool with a really nice slide. The pool's heated, of course, and then we've got a children's splash pad that will rival, I think, any municipality splash pad that I've seen. In addition to that, we've got a great clubhouse, and our clubhouse will have several meeting rooms that will accommodate the tournament business that you all are providing. We'll have meeting rooms and rooms that can be used for banquet events. So we're really excited about that. We've got all kinds of planned activities, from board games, you know, that are out in the field, turf fields, multi-purpose sport court type fields, and playgrounds for various ages, like from 2 to 5 and then from 6 to 10. We're putting in a really cool 9-hole putting course. Wow. That's going to be spectacular. It'll be lit, so we won't shut down, you know, when the sun goes down. We can stay up a little later. A nice tiki hut bar, and modern laundry facilities. We've got a nice fitness center going in, and that overlooks the pool. Wow. We've got a beautiful eagle habitat. We've got a pair of eagles that have been there since we bought the property.
That makes it.
And we think that's just great for those people who love nature. They'll be able to see. Every year so far, they've successfully raised 2 baby eagles, so we've got that all built. We're putting in a dog park that'll have dog washing stations and all the toys and the things that pet owners and dogs like. We'll have golf cart rentals. So from an experience, we want to deliver an experience for those people and make a lot of memories. Some of my favorite times growing up were when we traveled as a family cross country in a motorhome. So we hope to deliver that and have a lot of people, have a lot of families, make a lot of great memories. Our golf cart rentals, we're hoping from the experience standpoint, as the event lake is being built next door with the cable and cable park and water ski lake and wakeboarding lake. The road from the sports park, as you all know, is connecting down to Denton Avenue, and that will be a nice path for those people who maybe between games that are guests can come and go instead of having to pile into the car or the SUV and drive over and take up a parking spot.
So when they rent a golf cart, they rent it and they just can keep it at their motorhome? I mean, do you rent it for a day, or
they can rent it for a day? They can rent it for the duration of their stay. And we'll have stays from a day to several days to a week to a month and even the season. So,
you know, and the neat thing about that is you've got your little golf cart. You can buzz down to the cable park in it. You can buzz down to Tantrums to have something to eat, which I think is another asset to go along with all of this. Is you're right next door to a restaurant and a cable park, and you know, people pull in. I've got buddies that, you know, travel quite a bit, and they go, when you pull into, you know, the park, the first thing you want to do is go get something to eat. And it's usually, you don't want to cook in the motorhome another night.
That's right. That's right. Well, we'll have that. We have, you know, the cable park. Being right next door to that is incredible. The kids, you know, can't get enough of that, and we think that's going to be a nice complementing scenario. Well, between the sports park and the cable park, I think there are a lot of synergies that are going to be created between us. And then we'll have a general store for those people, like you said, Hank, when they pull in and they might have missed their, you know, their breakfast foods or whatever, they can pick it up at the store. So,
fantastic.
Walking and cycling, you know, between our streets will be private streets, so there'll be a lot of activity on our roads internally, but then you've got the Tico Van Fleet Trail immediately outside of our entrance that goes a long way. So, you know, you might join them, Hank, when you're running and jogging and
they can keep up with me because I'm shooting.
Right. So, as I mentioned, we're hoping to open, you know, the 4th of January is our announced date, and we're working through it, so it's coming fast, and we're getting a lot done.
Every day something's happening.
Yes.
Yeah, so some cottages, RV slips, but I think a couple of things that you hit on was the nature side of things. You know, Polk County is blessed to have some, you know, like birding. You talked about the eagles. There's some species here that aren't anywhere else in the world. So enthusiasts of that can be staying where there's an eagle's nest and then going and doing their things, or if they're going to Legoland and want to camp. But through the pandemic, as you know, the timing's pretty good. A positive that has come from this, it's almost like a reboot, kind of back to our roots, if you will, the family vacation in the RV and doing some of the things that maybe some of the technology and the other trips have taken away from. So this affords that opportunity, but the connection to or the thoughtfulness that you've put into the park, you know, the laundry, you talked about state-of-the-art laundry. Well, that's important to someone traveling, but it's very important to a sports team because they got to get the uniforms clean for the next day. You know, so if it's baseball that's staying there, or soccer staying there, or lacrosse, or whatever it is, very important. But then the touch points of the amenities for everyone, you know, maybe there's 4 hours between the games. Go back, jump the pool, go back. The experience, and I think the family has done a wonderful job. And when we talk about a sports business cluster, last segment, this is perfectly aligned with that and working with all the amenities that are already at Lake Myrtle. Talk a little bit about where, you know, that vision came from, or, you know, again, it's partnerships. It's working with the local entities, right?
Yes. Our family's been in the development business all of my adult life. We're actually third generation. And, you know, with discussions, the partnerships we've made with you all in the city, we try to be keen listeners, and something that we all came to realize is there is a hospitality shortage in our area, not only for the sports park, but for business travelers, the new Sun Tracks project. They need places to stay. And in our industry, the RV industry, through this COVID pandemic, has become the hospitality darling You've got social distancing built in. You're not going into the enclosed hallways and lobbies, so it's really the darling. So we came about, you know, with the idea of just trying to determine how do we best fit something that would complement Auburndale, Polk County, and the sports park, and we feel this resort is the best fit, and to build it, you know, state of the art. So,
well, and as you look at economic impact, Hank, I know you know this, that when you're done, was it 405 units or between the cottages and the RV slips, with the average daily rate, it's very comparable, or if not a little bit more than a hotel room is per night with the average here in Polk County. So it's like adding 400 plus rooms to the local economy. That's huge.
right.
It's like 4 hotels.
That's right. And the point you mentioned, Neal, is a very important one. The teams that are having to go outside of our county boundaries over to either to the west, to Hillsborough or Orange, Seminole, Osceola, it's tough taking a chance getting out on the I-4 corridor with timing. You don't know what traffic's going to do. And when you've got the timing between the games, to try to go back to a hotel with some distance and then make it back for your game is questionable. And we're right there.
And you've got a lot of guys, you've got your sports guys that, you know, when they get done with the game, they don't always just want to go back and sit in a room. If they can go play putt-putt and do some other activity, you know, it just to occupy their time. It beats sitting in a hotel room and watching TV or whatever. So it just has so many compliments to everything that's going on.
Well, thank you. We think so. We're building in several phases. I mentioned the activities coming in the first phase. The second phase, we've got a beautiful covered pickleball court layout that will include up to 6 courts, and then more multi-purpose artificial turf fields, indoor activities that are in the air-conditioned areas, pool tables, air hockey, all the different things you do inside, and maybe even some simulators where you do, you know, it's not just golf anymore, even though we like golf, but they do
A
baseball.
simulator's the only place I play golf well.
Right.
Well, Randy, we're certainly looking forward to it. Maybe we can get you on right before the grand opening. If not, we'll certainly have PGTV out there to cover the grand opening, and really looking forward to it. And congratulations to you and your family for a great project.
Thank you very much. I want to make one more comment. There are several ways to stay. We have cottages. We're planning on 125 cottages. They're going to have a bedroom, kitchen, dining area, living room. They'll accommodate easily up to 6 people. For those people who don't own an RV, they can experience the RV resort
hang out.
without, yes. And then, of course, the RVs, from pull through back in. All the sites are oversized and plenty of room to spread out and have fun. So
well, it's going to be fantastic. Absolutely.
Thank you all for having me.
Makes me want to buy a motorhome and just come over there.
Do it. Pull the trigger.
Pull the trigger.
After you pull that hamstring running down the trail, it'd be convenient. Well, Randy, thank you so much, and we're looking forward to it. Well, we're going to do something a little bit different now as we go to break. We're not really going to go to break. We're going to go into our third segment. It's brought to us by The Ledger. But what we're going to do is throw it to, a couple different packages that we want to make sure that you're able to see. The first one will be some footage from Living Waters Boat Tours, a great package that was put together there on the Channel Lakes. And then we're going to have an interview with Curtis Rabe, the head coach of the Florida Southern College water ski team. Yeah. And then we're going to have our athlete spotlight with Maci Beedle. So what they have said is, Neal and Hank, get out of the way. We've got a lot of great content.
We got a lot of great stuff coming up.
Check us out.
And you'll enjoy the second segment. You'll know why.
Absolutely. We'll be right back.
Thank you for being sweet.
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 When you follow the 5 safety steps to slow the spread of COVID-19, you're not only protecting yourself, but you're protecting the heart and soul of Polk County, Florida's sweetest spot.
Everybody, Hank Longo for PGTV, and I'm at Florida Southern College on this beautiful Lake Hollingsworth, and I'm with the Florida Southern College water ski coach, former world overall and jump champion, Curtis Rabe. And Curtis, great for you to join us here, the coach here at Florida Southern, and you've got a special team here, and I want to talk about not only how great the team is, but how academics play such a big role in what goes on here.
Absolutely, Hank, and glad to be here, by the way. Yes, I do have a special team. We are very physical and one of the top-graded teams in the nation year after year, but our academics is, bar none, one of the best that I've ever seen since I've been here.
Well, in order to get here to Florida Southern, just to begin with as a student, you've got to have good grades. So you really have to be the good student first of all, and then have the quality of being a great champion skier after that.
Absolutely. The standards here at Florida Southern are pretty tough. You need good test scores. And when I recruit people that are pretty smart to begin with. So that's helpful. But once they do get here, I want to keep them here. I don't want them to flunk out. I want them to get as much scholarship money as they can get. So the higher the test score, the more money they can get, and the more I can help them. In addition to that, we have a mentor program here on the water ski team, and when they come in as a freshman, I try to pair them up with a mentor academically. So if I have a business major or a chemistry major or a biology major, I try to pair up that freshman with a junior or senior that's studying the same the same career path, so that they can help them along the way. And it's not such an abrupt challenge when they leave home and come to college. They got a mentor there in place as a go-to.
Yeah, and it just relax. We're going to work on this together, you know, and let's just get good grades. Let's be a good student, and let's take those skills of being a good student to the ski team, because coaches say that the students that are their smartest and do well in school they're better athletes.
Absolutely. Yeah, you hit on a great point. If they're smart already, then guess what? From a coaching standpoint, they're going to be good listeners. They're going to be very coachable. They understand what it takes to get their mind in shape to perform the athletic feats they're going to do on the water. So you're absolutely right.
Now, there's something that's really neat that goes on here at Florida Southern, and that's you have a team sports banquet every year. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. It's an academic athletic awards banquet. And what it does is it celebrates all the sports teams here at Florida Southern. There are 26 sports teams multiplied by 2 because we have male and female. So we have a male soccer team, a female soccer team, a male swim team, a female swim team, etc. So there's actually 52 of my
now, you know, this is a fun thing that you bring up, is that you've got a female swim team. On the water ski team, Tiana Kosick from Minnesota, who's a national girls jump champion, is on the ski team, but she is the first student here at Florida Southern to get a scholarship in 2 sports. So she's on the swim team and the ski team, and she's a great student.
Absolutely. Tiana's a 4.0 student, has been since she's gotten here. She excels in water skiing, all 3 events, mind you, and then she trains with swim every single day, hours a day. She burns so many calories, it's crazy. But since Tiana has become our first 2-sport athlete, we have 2 others that are also 2-sport athletes now. Kelly Breeden being one of them. She was a track star in high school, and now.
Now, was Kelly a pole vaulter in high school? Oh, my, I remember that. That's where good bios come in, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But go ahead, continue.
Yeah. And we have Jamie Calhoun, who has also been recruited by the hockey team, which is new here, and he is now on the hockey team also, as well as water skiing.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah. Well, there's something that's very special at this awards banquet that all the teams try to inspire to be able to achieve. And what's that, Curtis?
Okay, so I mentioned we have 52 total teams, male and female, when you combine the 2. And the highest GPA out of any of those 52 teams gets to go first in the buffet line. So most years, my female team, water ski, has been second, and 2 years ago, last year, we got first. So guess what? My female got to go first in the buffet line, and that includes the coach.
pleasure of being with Kelly Breeden from Tallahassee, Florida. And Kelly, you're a senior this year at Florida Southern?
Yes, sir. Yep.
And so this is what's, I got to ask you this, because one of the things about being an announcer at ski tournaments is you get bios of the skiers, and you love to read about the things that they do. And one thing that's always fascinated me is when I came across a bio and a girl would say she was a pole vaulter on the track team. And I just thought that was amazing, because pole vaulting is like my favorite sport to watch, event to watch in track and field. And Kelly, you were a pole vaulter in high school.
Yes, sir, I was. I got to go to the state meet every year, and in my junior year, I actually tied for the state championships and lost, unfortunately. But
oh
yeah.
My gosh!
So I also got recruited to pole vault in college, but I decided to water ski instead.
There you go. And what was the height that you went in the state championships?
It was 10 feet 6 inches.
That's fantastic, amazing. So you decided to come to Florida Southern. You were recruited. And you're on the ski team. I know you're one of the top ladies in the country, but what are you studying?
I'm studying biochemistry and molecular biology.
I don't think I could spell it, let alone study it. That's amazing. So where do you go after college? What do you do with this degree?
Well, I'll need to go to more school, so that's the first step. But then I really want to be a marine researcher, so work at a laboratory, Lake Myrtle Marine Laboratory in Sarasota, and help figure out what's going on in the ocean and use my biochemistry degree to help save the planet.
Now, that's phenomenal. What inspired you to pursue this?
Well, I always loved science, and I always loved the ocean, and I came to Florida Southern thinking that I was going to be a marine biology major, and honestly, there's just not that many jobs for marine bio majors, so I became a biochemistry major and just ran with it, basically.
That's phenomenal. That's tough stuff to learn, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So you're always studying.
Yes, yes. Curtis says I always have a book in my hand, which is pretty true. In my sophomore year, I think all of my teammates knew that I carried around my organic chemistry book everywhere I went, so.
Well, everybody, Hank Longo here at Florida Southern College with the Florida Southern College ski team. Curtis Rabe, the coach, Kelly Breeden, one of their superstar skiers on the team. For PGTV at Florida Southern, Hank Longo.
Hi, my name is Maci Beedle, and I'm a junior at Victory Christian Academy, and I'm on the varsity volleyball team. Me and my parents, we ultimately decided that Victory would be a good fit for me, you know, to grow in my faith and just to put myself out there and maybe, you know, maybe get more acknowledgement with my sports. I really love it here, and I plan to graduate from here, not this year, but the next, and can't wait to see what else has to come for me. I started playing volleyball in 3rd grade, back when I lived in Tennessee. My parents signed me up, and I was like, let's start something new. So, and it's just been a big journey since then. Definitely what keeps me going is my different coaches, you know. I've had a lot of different coaches. Knowing that there's someone always there to push me keeps me going. You know, definitely my family members, my parents. My brother's a big part of that too. He played college sports, so definitely someone I look up to. Definitely one challenging thing I would say is the mental aspect of it. Not everyone is mentally built for volleyball. Volleyball's never really looked at as a mental sport, but that's one thing our coach really talks about is just your mental ability and how you have to be mentally tough with the sport. So with anything that comes through with it, you know, all the trials that you may face. So just to stay mentally tough. You know, if you dig yourself a hole, you have to push out of that no matter what it might be, you know, the situation you might face. So I just always remember there's people around me that can always push me to be better. I don't get nerves anymore just because I know I have my teammates around me to build me back up. You know, if something does go wrong, I do trust in the Lord with all that, just to calm my anxieties like that. So me and my team are really close. This is my 2nd year playing here. You know, when I first came here, all the girls were super welcoming. You know, they brought me right into the team, and we're just a family, you know, best friends. Just being on a team with them is a great joy in life, just knowing that there's people always there that I can look up to and just, you know, back me up. My favorite memory with this team was actually this past Saturday. We beat George Jenkins, and that was a big win for me personally and for the team. We just won 2 tournaments back-to-back, so that was a big win, beating some big public schools this weekend. I think a misconception about volleyball is that, you know, it's not hard. You know, you don't have to put in a lot of work for it, but I really think people don't see like the behind the scenes of it. You know, there's a lot of conditioning, a lot of like heart to heart with your coach, a lot of just, you know, toughness that does go into it. And my coach has always said, less me, more we. It's a team sport. Without a team, you're nothing. It can't be 5-on-6, it has to be 6-on-6. It's one thing our coach has been pushing on this year. That's why we are, you know, 12-2. We're beating all these public schools. We're winning these tournaments, you know. So really all that stuff does go into it, and it helps. I would encourage anyone to play volleyball. It's really going to teach you a lot. It's going to teach you being a team player, working hard, you know, and listening to your coach, which I think is 3 things that anyone could use in their life ahead of them. That's going to be useful in your day-to-day life, you know, even past volleyball, even past high school. I think anyone should play volleyball, you know, boys and girls. I do want to go to college. I would love to be a physician assistant, preferably in the dermatology field. I've been in contact with some coaches recently, which is exciting. So hopefully to hear back from them, maybe go on some visits and get an offer soon, and then hopefully commit by my senior year. Thanks for following me on my volleyball journey. It's super exciting to be living here now in Polk County, Florida. And I want to say a big thank you to Lindsay Devine and Megan Devine, the head and assistant coach at Alabama University. They're the biggest coaches I look up to, and I thank them for everything I know now.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Sports Central. Neal Duncan alongside Hank Longo in this 4th and final segment brought to us by the Lakeland Magic. We'll look forward to their season getting back underway.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
Well, of course, the NBA Finals just finished up in the bubble in Orlando, and then I don't think they've quite decided when the NBA will start, and then subsequently the G League will start. But we'll definitely find that out and bring it to you. We need to get Hans on here, the new general manager of the Lakeland Magic, but we'll look forward to that. But I know you said you kind of didn't realize the NBA was over, but then all of a sudden the Lightning win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
And you started to wake up a little bit, and now the Rays.
And now the Rays. It's just been a really funny season. I don't know why. It's hard to believe that it's October to begin with. Everything's flown by so quick, and you know, they have the NBA Finals, the Lightning winning the Stanley Cup, and now the Rays are in the World Series, and it's all tied up, which is...
Tampa Bay sports this year are like a tree falling in the woods. If there were nobody there to see it, did it really happen? But no, all jokes aside, it's been a fantastic run. You look at what the Lightning were able to do, the Rays. Now you go into Game 3 tonight as we're coming to you live. But tonight, Game 3, they lose the first game to the Dodgers. They win the second game. So tonight at 8:08 p.m.
Which was critical. You know, you don't want
to go down 0-2.
No, you don't. You definitely don't. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully they'll pull this one off. That would be fantastic.
Then you have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And we've got the Bucs, and Brady looked good. They really gave
Packers
Green Bay a whooping.
38-10 last Sunday, and then they've actually this Sunday night the Bucs were supposed to play the Raiders Sunday Night Football, but they've moved that up to a 4:00 game because they wanted to ensure, because there's been some I almost said Oakland, some Las Vegas Raiders players that were put on the COVID list, so they wanted to make sure that there was a Sunday night game, so they moved that game to 4:00 and put a different game at the Sunday night football game. But as of right now, that game's still supposed to take place, but you talk about, I just have to say, slow down. Won a Stanley Cup in the World Series. Let's pace ourselves. Stop talking about the Super Bowl. Let's just be happy with what we have, and then if we get there, we get there. But that Super Bowl is supposed to be in Tampa this year.
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be the first time that the team would be playing a Super Bowl in their home stadium.
In their home stadium. That would be, well, they got the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, we'll certainly see what happens.
Some good teams this year. It's going to be neat to see how this season.
Before we go on to some events that are upcoming, real quick as we look back, what a fantastic relationship between the City of Auburndale, Polk County, the Board of County Commissioners, and everybody over a decade ago that came together to create the Lake Myrtle Sports Park in Auburndale. We had Joel on talking about the Florida Youth Soccer Association. That is a relationship. That is an investment. Back then that continues to pay huge dividends for Polk County in that complex, and it just continues to grow and grow.
Well, it does continue to grow and grow, and we're right in the thick of developing the event lake there at Lake Myrtle. Is you go down Denton Drive into the cable park, you can see it, but boy, is that ever going to bring a whole new venue to the park. And
a compliment to the elite cable park that's already there.
It complements that, but there are just so many other sports that can take place in that lake that you don't really think of right off the top of your head. Like if we have a triathlon, we got a beautiful lake to swim in, and you can just do a whole just go on and on with the different things that'll take place there, which just enhances what we're doing here in Auburndale.
Absolutely, and you talk about events recruited to Polk County, and this year's been different, but looking forward just recently, some exciting news, the 2022 and the 2025 men's and women's cross-country, NCAA cross-country regionals awarded to Holloway Park, and Polk County Sports Marketing went together to get that event, so very excited about that. Some other things are coming up.
Well, in 2022, we have the World Show Ski Championships taking place downtown Winter Haven on Lake Silver, where they're having the Banana Blair Barefoot Bonanza going on this weekend, and we're going to be celebrating 100 years of water skiing, so that's going to
Polk
bring
County's
some
long
great
been known as the water capital of the world, water ski capital of the world. And like a week later from there, the International Practical Shooting Confederation, PCC World Shoot. So there's so many things. So there's some things going on, lots of things going on, but 21, 22, 23. You talk about the infrastructure, you talk about the things that the Board of County Commissioners, Tourism, Sports Marketing, and then the municipalities have done to generate that economic impact for Polk County. So it's been fantastic. Well, Ghosts and Goblins and Goodies coming up, the Visitor Information Center?
Yep, and that's been a great event. It's been going on for, gosh, probably ever since the Vic has been open, and get a bunch of kids there, and it's always fun to see them all dressed up in their costumes. But it's this Saturday, the 24th, from 8 a.m. to 1 a.m. Of course, 101 Adventure Court right on Highway 27.
1 p.m.
Yeah, what did I say? 1
a.m. I don't think they're going to go that long.
These kids like to rock and roll during the
That's a long day for parents.
Yeah, no, till 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. They've got the costume, the contest that they have going on there. BOGO tickets, buy one, discounted Legoland Florida ticket or Bach Tower tickets, and you get one free. So they get people lining up before sun's up to get on those deals.
Well, it's a great opportunity. Again, buy one, get one free, and and great attractions and all the things that they've done. The attractions safely reopening, making sure that all the safety PPE type stuff are in place so you can enjoy these attractions. Speaking of Legoland, they have their annual event coming up, and they've even, we heard a presentation yesterday, the candy, like they have a 6-foot candy drop. So the characters are socially distanced and they're able to drop the candy to the kids, and it's like this 6-foot tube. So it's really cool stuff, but tell us all about it.
So the event dates will go from the 24th, 25th, that's this weekend, and on the 31st.
Legoland Florida Resort.
This is Legoland Florida Resort. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., trick-or-treating candy stations, a run. Just some great stuff. Park opens, let me see here, at 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. The water park, they're going to get going. So some neat stuff happening there.
Very cool stuff. And the Visitor Information Center, we go back to that. That's the site of Ghosts, Goblins, and Goodies. But Florida Sports Hall of Fame has been there. And then coming in 21, the Water Ski Foundation Hall of Fame will be in the Visitor Information Center, because really the Visitor Information Center is an attraction. It is sold and presented and as a first stop when visitors come to Polk County, so they can find out all the things that there are to see and do in Polk County. So as an attraction, occasionally you have to change up the displays and the information. In 21, it'll be the Water Ski Hall of Fame, so I know you're working on that. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it is cool stuff, and what's so neat about it is for me, when I do these museums and and start to design them, you get engulfed and engaged in the history.
Yeah.
You know, you're reading all these things, and you're seeing pictures from like Ralph Samuelson, the first guy to ski that invented water skiing down in Minnesota. It's just to see how it's evolved, and it's just amazing to learn all these things as you go through all the memorabilia. But just a great asset to complement the World Championships coming here, the 100th anniversary, and you know, all the people that the visitor center will attract just to come see the museum.
Absolutely, and it also creates an opportunity, so they come into, let's say their primary reason for coming in is to see the museum, but then it gives the opportunity for the staff to really sell Polk County, push them further down on 27,
well,
or
come
west
to the
on
cable
I-4.
park,
Absolutely.
to come ski. By then the ski lake, the event lake should be up and operating with, you know, things to do there. So it just really helps, you know, now that you're here and you learn all the fun things there are to do, go have fun.
Yeah, Justin and his staff do a fantastic job. Well, I know that project is in the works. I know we've only got a couple of minutes left, but we also talk about the Hall of Fames we have in Polk County. Make sure you can visit, or want to make sure you know you can visit the Polk County Sports Hall of Fame, located at 2701 Lake Myrtle Park Drive. That's at the Lake Myrtle Sports Park. So talking about great athletes and you know, all those things that we've enjoyed here in Polk County.
We had Andy Bean stop by.
Andy Bean stopped by this past week. Yeah, absolutely. And
you know, Ryder Cup.
Right.
That's some fantastic stuff. And of course, Ray Lewis got inducted, and we've got a great display for him here as well.
Definitely want to get out there.
So many other great athletes.
Absolutely. We got some sponsors we want to thank.
Well, we want to thank all those folks that support us here on Sports Central. Jimmy John's, Party Rentals Unlimited, People's Barbecue, Home 2 Suites, and Harborside. Actually was there for dinner last night. Great place.
Great place. Listen to our sister show on Sports Central on radio, and that's Talk 1430 WLKF or Talk 96.7 every Thursday from 5 to 6 p.m. Sam and Mackenzie will be holding down the fort when that show. They do a tremendous job talking about events coming up in Polk County, talking about the national scene. You definitely want to tune in to Talk 1430 WLKF or Talk 96.7 for the radio version of Sports Central. Or you can go to the website, centralfloridasports.com, for a full list of things going on in Polk County, or also go to visitcentralflorida.org. Find those events like we were talking about that are outdoor, socially distanced, and ready for you. We look forward to you going to visitcentralflorida.org. The next edition of Sports Central will be live on November 6th. It's actually my son's birthday.
Oh, 2 days after mine.
18th birthday. Well, I'm talking about my son. You made it about you. What just happened?
Hey,
He'll be 18. No.
Just saying, send gifts, cards, you know, just here to Sports Central.
Will you be 18?
Yeah, times 10. No, not that bad, but it's getting close.
You actually said that.
I did. I can't believe I did that to myself.
All right. That'll do it for us today here on Sports Central. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks to the great staff at Polk County Government Television. For Hank Longo, I'm Neal Duncan. We'll see you again next time.